amongst your... Oh, see, it tracks me. See? Woo! Ain't that fun? That's fun. That's freaking fun. Yay, yay, yay. Woo! Moving around, the gimbal follows me. Face tracking. Face tracking. Okay. Good morning. I'm hoping you're happy you're having a cup of coffee. Let me go get the book. I'm going to go get the book. Hold on. I'm just improvising this, all right? I can talk for hours here. People don't even have to really show up. I can just keep talking because, it makes me feel like I'm talking to somebody, even though I can't see who I'm actually really talking to. Anyway, cheers. This is my mom's robe. She gave it to me. She just liked to wear robes, so I don't mind, going by Mrs. Beamer for the rest of the morning here. I really, I'm still in my pajamas, really. Yes, I am in my pajamas, yay. So, anyway, I'm also on Substack. Let me let you guys, I just joined Substack. It's a well, you probably know what it is, but it's known for microblogging. And I have a podcast called Not My Rabbit Hole with Tere, Joyce. And I'm working on getting new podcasts up on Spotify and doing the microblogging. So please follow me on Substack if you can. But one of the things, and this is probably something that I'm going to write about pretty soon. We went to the comedy club, right, at Chico's, and this was 2 days before the LA Riots started. And, being in this area in California, and by the way, the Mexicans were here first, and because we were, and I can say we because I am half, right, Holguin. I am of Latino descent. I'm half and half, and I've made jokes about that my entire life. And going back to college, right, and then learning about, coming back again and learning about Cesar Chavez and how the United Farm Workers fought for, equal pay and fair treatment, and how the Braceros came over from Mexico and how our government brought them here. Our government brought them here and didn't pay them everything that they should have been owed. How do I know this? Because in my filmmaking class, I interviewed Humberto Gomez, who was in the Bracero Project, and we did a whole presentation of people that fought under Cesar Chavez in the Central Valley. We're farm workers out here, all right? So I just, that this is just one thing that I hope that people will open their minds and get a larger picture of what is really happening here. And here's another thing that gets me, and I just, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be, kind of, not getting it right, but Trump made it in the, so that when the pool comes in, the journalists in the Oval Office, that they are required to no longer call it the Gulf of Mexico anymore. It's the Gulf of America. It's the Gulf of America. So much that the Associated Press journalists were no longer allowed to be in the pool anymore. I'm sorry, but that's kind of like, I thought we had freedom of the press here. Not just like, if you don't make this terminology like I say it, you don't be able to be included to be a journalist. Am I passionate about this? Yeah, I am kind of passionate about this. Sorry to disappoint everybody. But when it comes to the Constitution and when it comes to free speech, we've got to stand out and say something about it. Right? Right. All right? So, the Gulf of Mexico, there's this whole debate. Like, some people say, well, because it's known as worldwide, why not just call it the Gulf of Mexico? Because we have to keep it in there. We have to keep it in the lingo. Because the rest of the world doesn't identify with the nomenclature shifts that happen every freaking day in, the United States in many ways, especially that one. Especially when it has to do with geography, right? And we're talking about geography and who owns what country at this point. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Anyway, any questions? Anybody? I didn't realize this was going to be a morning rant and that I would be this passionate about what I'm talking about. But what I don't really understand is, okay, if we have to call it the Gulf of America now, And we have people rioting in LA because people are being deported to the Gulf of America. I mean, if it's expected that we're going to be in control of Mexico anyways, then why are we deporting people in the first place? We're just rearranging them if we're going to own it anyway, if we claim it anyway, if we own it anyways. Like, it doesn't really make any fucking sense to me. Sorry. Forgive me for saying the F word, but in that context, I think maybe it's appropriate. So anyway, now that I've vented and shared my thoughts, one of the things that came up in, Ben and I's conversation at Woodward Park about the comedians joking about ICE. I mean, joking about it. And, maybe it could be perceived, offensive or whatever. But I really find it interesting when comedians joke about things right before something like this is going to happen. We joke about things because we're dealing with it, because we're making a joke about it. But it really is no joke. There really is something going on here. The military's been called out. We've had martial law, basically. And we have a president that's threatening to arrest an actual governor. I say, wow. And God bless those comedians that can still make a joke about it. I'll see you next time.